Scorpion Freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip and to bring you a brand new series to kick off 2023. I'm going to be bringing in a lot of new stuff here beginning this week, and we'll be making announcements about all that. But this is going to become a regular feature here. We'll have this read every Tuesday. It's for the collective. It's going to be a wild card weekly weather report where we just kind of dive into the energies in play the week ahead for the collective and see what's coming in for us, how we can best navigate the terrain and save ourselves a few storms if possible, and find good shelter if there are some blowing in. So I'm going to be using that zodiac wheel spread for this because I really like how it looks at all the 12 different areas of life. I feel like it gives a comprehensive view. I'm going to play with this a bit longer. We'll see what you all think of this read, okay? I'm going to be rolling some new stuff out that I'm going to be trying out, just see how it goes. And some things that I was going to bring in last year, I really got guided, needed to be, just kind of like reworked a little bit. In particular, in relation to the 13 moon initiation. We're going to bring a Broad Coven initiation in instead, okay? So definitely was guided in a different direction, and I'm just following where I'm pulled and trusting what's coming through. So I hope you enjoy going along the ride with me. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you to all the subscribers, all the new subscribers coming in. I look forward to getting to know you and building community here. This read is for the collective. I will call out signs when they come in. Do be aware when I call out the signs, it's for any strong placement in the chart. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars. Wow, cut of the deck energy right off the bat. Okay, we got the judgment here. All right, so some judgment is coming down this week. We're going to see which way things are going to go. All right. And it looks like there's a new beginning in store with the Ace of Wands. We ain't messing around. We're coming out strong this week as we enter this new year. So I'm already really vibing off that energy there. I noticed the owl in that Ace of Wands as well, so that really is making me think big Athena energy, like using the wisdom gained in the past to make your decisions as you navigate the opportunities that come forward this week. Do remember to have that vision that can see through the dark. So how do you see through the dark? Well, you have to lean in to what the energy is telling you. You have to get an energy read. You have to, feel it in your bones, feel it in your gut, however you want to look at it. It's about trusting the way you're interpreting the energy when these different opportunities come your way, these different people come your way. I feel like there's a lot kind of being presented, being put on the table this week, and it's up to you to remember the lessons you've been learned. This is kind of a testing environment with this Mercury retrograde we're in, being hosted by Capricorn, Big Daddy Capricorn. We got that Saturn energy in the mix, front and center, okay? It's like you're taking a test this week, collective, okay? You're going to be tested on what you've learned, all right? Did you really learn your lessons? I think there's going to be some experiences coming up this week that will give you the opportunity to find out, all right? When I call in the signs in this reading, it's for any strong placement in the chart: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars. Okay, so don't get too hung up on it because you don't know every single person's astrology chart. You also don't know if, their progressive chart is putting them in that kind of energy. So I like to bring it in just because it's fun for people. Sometimes it really dings, but it's not, it's not a limitation, all right? 4:44 on the clock when I said that. So just trust the energy, trust your intuition. Above all, I want you to activate your intuition when you receive these readings from me. You'll know how the message applies to you. Reading for a collective, you can't get a personal read, okay? So just listen to the stories as they come in. I speak to as many of them as possible. And flip flop rolls as you need to. All right. Understand crosswatch your energy can come in. We're just going to enter this dynamic space together. I am going to shuffle on camera. I feel right about that. I don't want to shuffle off camera. So I'm going to go ahead and do this layout here. Sometimes, channeled messages come in. So if you skip ahead, you might miss it. But you can always catch this on the replay. I will have timestamps up to make it easy for you to get right to the read. All right. So without further ado, let's just dive in. So we are shuffling for the collective. We got King of Swords on the bottom of the deck here. And with this King of Swords, we definitely have, I'm feeling Aquarius energy front and center. We are getting ready to kind of lay the groundwork for what we'll be expanding into in Aquarius season. So do be mindful of that as you move through this week. That a lot is going to be shifting. Really look at the foundation you want to put down and be honest with yourself about where you need to kind of trim the fat, where you need to cut some cords, where you need to cut some things off so you can align yourself with what you're looking to expand into when we move into that Aquarius season, all right? All right, 6:33 on the clock. Shuffling for the collective for this week. Around here, the weeks go Tuesday to Tuesday because I don't post on Sundays and Mondays. Those are my days for me, my me days. And maybe you all need to think about that too. Like, what is your non-negotiable when it comes to your self-care and carving time out for yourself and your pleasurable pursuits? Make sure you're penciling yourself in. Don't overextend yourself, being all gung-ho as you move into the new year. Really think conscientiously about the foundation you're laying in place and make sure you build it for success. Think of the nuts and bolts of what you're trying to create, what you're trying to call in. It absolutely requires that you take time for your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual well-being, and certainly taking care of your body. So do remember as you're scheduling in all these things you want to put your focus and attention on and setting all your goals and going after your resolutions, that you remember to put yourself on the schedule too. It's so important. And block out time to rest and do nothing. And especially if you're a reader out there on YouTube, it's so important to take a rest, right? It's so important to take a rest because this kind of work, it's a huge energy demand. It really is. Just to hold the space is a big energy demand. So, don't feel guilty about taking a day off and relaxing. Let yourself relax. Let yourself take it in. There's so many hardworking, amazing readers here on YouTube. I do want to quickly give a shout out to a couple of them. Everything Empress, your channel is actually what inspired me to start Broad Coven because of the way you deliver your reads. You are cold with the cards. Gives it straight up. If you don't know about Everything Empress, please go over to her channel, give her a subscribe. She's amazing. And I also want to give a shout out to somebody I recently discovered that I really love, Blue Rose Tarot. Blue is, again, she just delivers it straight. I have a lot of respect for her, and she's fun. She's fun. She makes me laugh. I love her reads. Check her out. Give her a subscribe. You'll love her too. And somebody that I'm just like, I found somebody that's like my tribe, okay? Sun, moon, and stars, okay? Tarot, she is phenomenal. I mean, she knows how to really go out there, and I love that she delivers the messages just so uncensored and so pure, because the things she speaks to are things that a lot of people would have a hard time speaking to. And so there's such a beautiful space she's creating for, people to be who they are and to feel heard and seen with her reading. So mad respect to you. Give her a look up too, give her a subscribe. They're wonderful, wonderful readers. All right. I didn't know I was going to do that. Maybe you need to show some appreciation to people in your life. Maybe you need to give some thanks to mentors in your life, collective. Maybe you need to reach out to somebody and say, hey, you really inspired me. Let's get rid of some of the competitive energy that was so front and center in 2023. And let's instead shift the vibe. Let's lift each other up. Let's acknowledge when somebody has gifts. Acknowledging that somebody else has gifts doesn't diminish yours in any way. And it's a beautiful way to keep the reciprocal flow going. And it's what abundance is all about. If you need all the accolades to be for yourself, you're automatically blocking your abundance and the manifestations of your vision. You're getting in your own way. So, you'd be surprised about the beautiful things that can come forward when, you take that opportunity to really acknowledge where somebody shines, where they excels, where they're bringing something really beautiful into the mix and contributing something. All right. This is so important. And I feel like this is an important piece coming in. I told you with the shuffling, these channel messages can come in. Now we're really going to go there. Okay, first of all, collective, where are you at this week? Where are you at? What are you going to be feeling? What's going to be on your mind? What are you going to be hoping for? Let's just see your internal weather pattern. Where are you going to be at this week, collective? First house. Ooh, yes. That's very positive. Coming out with a bang, okay? Where's the bag going to be at? Where are the finances going to be at for the collective this week? This first week of the new year, this Tuesday to next Tuesday. Where is the collective going to be at with the finances? Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. It's a long stretch, right? We've been walking a long, hard mile. We'll get there, collective. We'll get there. All right. Where will the communication be at for the collective over this first week of the new year, Tuesday to next Tuesday? Ooh, that really flipped around. Ooh, saved by the bell. You've been struggling to let go, collective. You've been struggling to let go, but your resistance is melting, and it's a good thing. All right. Where's the home life going to be at for the collective over this week? Okay. Tell me about romance, earthly pleasures, and creativity for the collective this week. Come on, Spirit. Tell me about romance, earthly pleasures, and creativity for the collective this week. I'm feeling a lot of sentience coming in, so I feel like this is an area that's going to be kind of lit up this week. I think there's going to be some kind of, it's funny, I heard clandestine first, so maybe there's some clandestine kind of connections brewing, but I also feel like some kismet connections, okay, this coming in. I also feel big muse energy front and center. I think a lot of you are going to be inspired some way. Maybe there's a special someone inspiring you, all right? I came out as a crossing influence, so I said that. What's coming in for the areas of work and routine for the collective over this first week, Tuesday through next Tuesday? What's coming up in the area of work and routine for the collective over this week? As we go from this Tuesday to next Tuesday. What's coming up in the area of work and routine? Okay, we got a couple there. Like we're putting some focus there, which is good. As well we should, all right? Because we definitely have Saturn acting as taskmaster. We're going to be really tested to see, are we willing to put in the work? Are we willing to hold up our end of the bargain? We will get rewarded, but you have to put in some elbow grease, and that applies not just physically, but mentally, and how you're showing up emotionally, what you're bringing to the table, spiritually, making sure you're doing your work. Make sure you're doing your chores, doing those inner healing, inventories that you need to do so you can go the ball. You're not going to go the ball without doing your chores. Okay. This piece coming in really strong. Partnerships, as in romantic partnerships. Okay. That came up very quickly. All right. I think we got some interesting stuff brewing, collective. Okay. Let's hear about that scorpionic stuff. Let's look at sex, death, transformation, the occult. What is coming in for the collective this week? Sex, death, transformation, and the occult. What is coming in for the collective this week? Woo. Okay. Wow. Woo. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Travel, expansion, spirituality for the collective this week. Travel, expansion. Whoa. Okay. We had quite a bit come out there. That's very interesting. All right. Okay. PR, career, image, brand for the collective this week. PR, career, image, brand for the collective this week. All right. Came out as cross of influence. All right. Friends and community. Friends and community for the collective this week. 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 All right. And let's see here. Karma, the work to be done. What's in need of evolution this week? And hidden enemies. What do we need to be on the lookout for? How can we avoid some accruing of negative karma too? That came out as a crossing influence. All right. 1620, we're diving into the reading here. Okay, I still feel like there's a throat chakra stuff going on. I think it will be a bit longer. I think we're definitely going to have that through Mercury retrograde. As has come in some of the other reads I've done, there is really this piece about having a lot of healing communications during this period of time, and expressing yourself from the heart, and also being able to kind of take the time to pull back after important communications of a very emotional nature, to sort of like let it sit for a bit. Don't be so quick to have a response. Practice listening more. I feel like this is coming in. So I think there is still, stuff is starting to move. You may even notice this week you might have some like ama coming up. You might be coughing up like some old stuck gunk, that's been held in your lungs. And really, when you got old stuck stuff in your lungs, that's connected to grief. It's holding in grief. And so I feel like what's been needed in order for this release to happen and to be freed from a lot of that heaviness. I'm getting like Three of Swords energy. I feel like a lot of people on some level move through that Three of Swords energy in 2022. So I think you did a lot of release, but there's still like this old, real old kind of stuck stuff. So I encourage you to work with steam inhalations. Just get a nice hot bowl of water, put some rosemary in there. You can put some lemon verbena in there, and eucalyptus, make a nice steam, tent your head with a towel, breathe deeply. It can really help like break up that congestion. It can help release the emotions too. So this piece coming in, I think there will be a lot coming up and out actually through communication, but don't be surprised if you also notice that happening in the physical body as well. But we see where you're at is you're really pouring your energy into yourself with the Ace of Cups. A lot of you are beginning to really put a focus on your self-care, and you're looking to show up for yourself in different ways. I feel like a lot of what's coming in with the self-care piece has more to do with nurturing. Like, how can I really deeply nurture myself? A lot of this has to do with looking at where you're feeling a sense of lack emotionally and how you can meet those needs for yourself. I feel like a lot of like pampering coming in particular, pampering rituals. It's almost like preparing yourself for the love you seek. For those of you that are single, you don't need to wait to spoil yourself. You don't need to wait um, to have somebody else give you those things. Like, buy yourself some flowers, get dressed up just because you want to feel your best. Um, Give yourself a sensual massage. Work with a nice warm oil like an almond oil, and you can put really sensual essential oils in there like ylang ylang and sandalwood and cedar. You could do rose is lovely. Work with sounds. Work with what sounds good to you. You could put blood orange in there, or sweet orange for juiciness. And in working with any kind of plant allies, I am an Ayurvedic practitioner, and that's why I share this stuff here. I have quite a bit of experience in the holistic health field. I've worked in the holistic health field for 28 years, but please, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm merely sharing information. If you need to check with your doctor before experimenting with any of these things, which I definitely encourage you to do if you have a medical condition. A lot of people think essential oils are just like no big deal because they're natural. No, they can be very toxic if you use too much. A good rule of thumb is no more than 6 drops of essential oil. And certainly if you are pregnant or nursing, or if you have high blood pressure or vertigo type conditions, you definitely want to check things out, as well as any medications you may be on. There's my little disclaimer with that, okay? So I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just merely sharing information, all right? But it's up to you to consult your health practitioner, all right? I feel like this is about really pouring into yourself too. I feel like a lot of you need to focus more on hydration. You need to get the water in. You need to get some herbal teas in, kind of back off on the caffeine a little bit. You don't have to go straight up no caffeine at all right? But maybe just look at reducing a little bit. Ease into your changes as well. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Show up, feel into where you're at, and let that determine the goals you set for yourself, that day. Maybe instead of trying to plan out your whole year in advance, what if you just planned it out that day and made the healthiest choice you could make in the moment? What if you just made it a habit to get up in the morning and do your own little weather check, put your left hand on your heart and put your right hand on your belly and just take some deep breaths with your eyes closed and tune in to how you feel and ask your body, what do you need today? 22:22 on the clock when I said that. And trust it. What if you did that? I challenge you to experiment with that this week, collective. I think that you'll get a lot of benefit out of it. And I feel like what you set in motion this week, it's really going to come to fruition this summer. You're really going to see, you're going to see the payoff for what you invested in the summer when this comes in. You'll be able to connect the dots and say, I get it. It's because I started showing up for myself like that I was able to actually receive this opportunity. Okay. So really positive energy. And it was 22:44 on the clock when I said that. So we got master number there. And it's all about the foundation that you're going to build your future on. Very important new beginnings this week. Now, in terms of finances, I see that, you're really feeling tired. You've been carrying a heavy load. A lot of you have a lot of responsibility. There's been so much changing in the world. There's been a lot of instability around finances. So I think a lot of you have taken on extra work. A lot of you have said, sure, I'll work the extra hours. You've been pulling overtime. You've also wanted to recover a bit financially after the holidays. I also feel like you are overextending yourself a little bit. Try to be mindful to pace yourself. Don't spread yourself too thin. If you spread yourself too thin in an effort to kind of keep up with your finances, you may actually find it works against you. You get sick. You end up having to take more time off work than if you just paced yourself sensibly. For those of you that are in business for yourself, I feel like you're really overextending yourself. You're like, your client load is too heavy. And there is a need to kind of pull back a little bit. And I think a lot of that has to do with you're really wanting to see growth in your business. Some of you are going for promotions, okay? So it just depends on what your work situation is. But I really feel like you're wanting to see an up level in your life. You're wanting to see your business succeed. You're wanting to see your practice grow. You're wanting to get a promotion at work. And so you're just saying yes to everything and really spreading yourself thin because you're hoping to see this thing grow. But what you don't understand is if you're not really filling yourself up first, like you're depleted and then you're not bringing your best forward. So it can actually sabotage your effectiveness. It comes back to this piece about the nurturing and pouring into yourself, right? An empty cup can't quench anyone's thirst. So this is coming forward very strongly to be reasonable. It's about making sure that you're thinking long term. Saturn is about long term. And right now we got Mars in retrograde. Okay. So there's even more of an energy drain. That's not going forward until the end of the month. So do be mindful about this and make sure that you leave enough space in your schedule that you are taking time to invest in what you really want to grow and also what gives you pleasure. And you'd be surprised how much that will benefit your finances. It sounds counterintuitive, but you'll see what I mean as you dive into it. Now, in the area of communication, it was funny because it wanted to come out in reverse, but it turned around. Okay, so we have the hangman here. All right, and so I feel like this is the first tentative steps of having those kind of challenging conversations, the things that you've needed to get off your chest with another person. I think there's been delays. I think there's been some need to kind of have a little separation in these matters. So you could get a new perspective on things so you could see things differently. 26 on the clock when I said that. That's double eights. It's about each individual in the situation needs to be able to really come into their center and feel out what is the point of connection and looking for those points of connection and communication too. Like enough focus on where we see things differently or where we can't seem to bridge the gap. Where do we find ourselves on the same page? Those points of connection are what really can be built upon. Okay, that's what's going to bring these situations into alignment and bring forward the gift in these experiences. We do see bat energy here. Bat is about rebirth. Bats are also considered good luck. So it's like if you're willing to go there, if you're willing to show up for these communications and you're willing to deeply listen to what the other has to say, not personalize it, understand it's their truth and their perspective that was gained in their own time, doing their own internal healing process. Okay. If you can meet each other respectfully like that, I feel like there's something that comes out of this. It's a lot of beautiful growth. I feel like you're getting to this place where, since it was initially wanting to come out in reverse, okay, that can be like, kind of like, I see it as starting to move out of this hangman energy. Like, okay, we're ready to see what's on the other side of this now. And you notice you turn the hangman upside down, he's dancing, and so I feel like you're starting to dance with this energy just a little bit. You're taking the first tentative steps to open up communication. You're softening your stance a little bit. You're being more receptive. And this is energy that's going to continue to build as we move through this Mercury retrograde cycle. Just you wait until we start to head into Aquarius season. You'll see how much the communication zone expands and in a really positive way. Okay. Next up, we're looking at home. And we got the Three of Wands in reverse. All right. It's funny, I got kind of an interesting message with this. Some of you are still waiting for packages to arrive that you ordered for the holidays, and they're still held up. They haven't arrived yet. They're still in transit. Some of them haven't even been shipped yet. This is a little frustrating. I feel like there is something that you're waiting to come in order for things to move forward on the home front. For some of you, you're ready to move into a new place, but you're waiting on your deposit. You're waiting for the deposit on the old place to come through. It's kind of getting down to the wire. You feel a little stressed about this. Try to do the best you can to just relax. Unfortunately, there's going to be holdups. There's going to be delays at this time, especially things relating to paperwork. I also feel like there's some repair work being done on your home. And there's also some delays in this. I feel like there's a connection with funds. There's something about money is holding up any kind of repair work that needs to be done and waiting for that money to come in order to take care of some essential things around the home. Also, those packages, very strong message coming in. Some of you are also looking at situations where, it's multiple people living under the same roof, whether that's a family or in a relationship or just a roommate situation. I feel like there's a desire to kind of get things moving forward in a positive way. Maybe some things have just felt a little out of balance. Maybe things used to work a certain way, but there's been changes in the environment. And so now it's necessary to find a new way forward. I think you're going to be looking at some of these things, having some reviews. Some of you are going to have, like a family meeting, or a meeting with the roommates, just to talk about things. Try to just be open, try to listen again. I encourage you all to like work with something like, and this applies for any kind of communications, but, you know, in the tradition of like, um, the natives, uh, they would pass around a peace pipe, when they would have a conversation, and whoever's holding the pipe, like they got the mic. They're the ones who have the floor. Nobody else communicates. This can be a really great way when you're in group dynamics, especially in home situations, living situations, to make sure everyone's heard, that listening is occurring, and if clarification is needed, you can like raise your hand, and when they pass you I got a wand here, but if they pass you the pipe, I don't know, you can pack yourself a bowl, those of you who enjoy herb, and let that be your peace pipe. Let whoever has the mic have the floor. And then if you want to ask questions or whatever, you can like, hey, raise your hand, ask if it's okay for feedback, or say you have a question, and wait for them to hand you the mic before you say your piece. It can be a good way to handle group dynamics like that. And you can even do it one-on-one. It's very effective because it serves as a physical reminder to not have a conversation with the intention to respond, but more to come to a place of understanding where you can really hear what the other person's saying. There's so much coming in around communication this week. So got that there for the home. Now, with romance, pleasures, creativity, this came in as like a crossing energy. Yeah, look, I'm telling you, it's that Three of Swords. I felt it. I felt it before it even came in. I think there's still, this is kind of hanging on. And so I feel there's a lot of people that are very tentatively, moving into the new year, and in particular around the area of romance. Like, most people are just trying to focus on themselves right now. A lot of people are really deep in a healing process. We had that Pluto dance, that went with us all throughout 2022. It's not over yet. The first 6 months of 2023, we are still working with that South Node Scorpio energy. We are going to be working on that process of rising up into that North Node Taurus, where is the place of arrival, that we finally understand our worth and our values. 33 on the clock when I said that's such major Empress energy, Emperor energy. Okay, it's all the same trip. It's coming to that place of integrating the lessons of the four elementals: the swords, the wands, the cups, and the pentacles. Okay, and we're all in this place of working through this collectively. All of us are on this journey together. So we're all processing old grief, old pain, abandonment, the hurt around our hearts. So I really would say that it's so important at this time to just be gentle with yourself, and maybe invite in a little pleasure, because if you've dealt with a lot of pain for a long time, it can be really hard just to let pleasure in. I'm going to say, okay, this is an adult channel. Maybe give yourself some self pleasure, you know? Put yourself on some Al Green, dim the lights, have some candles, have some warm, yummy oil, and just indulge yourself, okay? Also, just go out and do something fun to take your mind off the heaviness. Try to look for the bright spots in life again. And I'm really picking up a lot of like just doing some like breast massage, even just pouring warm oil on your heart and just massaging your heart and speaking words of love and affirmation and healing to yourself can be so transformational. Some of you might want to take it, to a real radical place. And if you're brave, if you're very brave, you can just strip down in front of a full length mirror and watch yourself, give yourself a full abhyanga, full body massage, and have beautiful candles lit and soft music and speak words of love and acceptance to all the parts of you. And it's amazing how transformational this can be. But I feel like you're still thawing out the coldness you've kind of gathered around your heart as protection. And so I'm not feeling a lot of romance front and center this week. I feel like you're more integrating your experiences. Okay. So any communications that start to come forward, just take it slow, be gentle, or any interests that come your way, any romantic interests, try to stay open, but it's okay. It's okay if you pace yourself. You don't need to rush into anything. All right, and then next we are looking at work and routine. This is a crossing influence. Look at what we got here. We got the Tower, the Five of Pentacles, okay? So I feel like there is some big disruption in the area of work and routine. I think it has a lot to do with stress around finances, and it seems quite natural that this would come in after the holidays. I also think this goes back to the piece I was talking about this 10 of Wands energy here. If you don't take care of the structure, if you don't take care of your body, if you push yourself too hard because you're worried about ending up in the poorhouse, that you're just not taking care of yourself. And I can see this is like abandoning yourself, you're not considering that you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that your health is in good working order. It could negatively affect your finances. You may find that you get really sick, you know you get really sick, or you get so tired that you have to start taking personal days, and it actually ends up costing you in the end. This is really what I got right now. I understand the desire to like push and feel like you have to get ahead of things, but it actually will work against you in this current cycle. So there's a need to kind of just be very mindful about not taking on too much. The support that's needed will come. And in areas where, those of you lost a job and it's been really rough and you've been looking for employment, again, I feel like it's so important that you make sure that you're taking the best care of yourself that you can, that you're practicing good stress management techniques, and make sure that you're preserving your health, because stress can take a real toll on our physical health. And I'm feeling this connection so strongly between physical health and the work, and how it can negatively impact the finances. All right. Make sure if you're going out in the cold that you're bundled up, and that maybe when you're getting home, you're making yourself some nice ginger tea. You can just get fresh ginger root, slice that up, boil it in some water for 10 minutes. Oh man, it's so good. It'll just warm you from inside out. Great for breaking up congestion. It's antiviral, antimicrobial. It's stimulating for the digestion, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where your health is compromised too, because health is wealth. All right. Without your health, you ain't got nothing. And those of you who are, in a position where you're out of work right now and you feel a lot of stress around that, it's even more important that you show up for yourself and take good care of yourself, because, this energy will change. You will find a way through. It's a temporary setback. But there's something that has really disrupted your routine. And I believe it has to do with finances. And you're kind of like, you're all pushing yourself too hard because you're really trying to make up for what got put out at the holidays, right? Might be time to think of celebrating the holidays in a new way next year, so you all don't end up in that way, where you're having to work so hard just to make ends meet. It really isn't about all that anyway, right? We need to remind people what the roots of these holidays are all about, and get it back to a more balanced place where it's not about us going broke and running ourselves into the ground to keep up with the Joneses. It just doesn't make sense, right? Okay, and then in the area of partnerships, we have the Hierophant. All right, so I feel like you'll notice here there's like a community of people gathered on this card, and I love the imagery of the tree, and it's like a weeping willow. Oh, weeping willows are so magical and they're so sheltering. And I just see this as like really laying down the roots and strengthening the love and the connection within your like your soul tribe, like the people who are your people. You know, you're really um feeling nourished by your connections. You know what connections you want to pour your energy into, and you're really strengthening those connections. It's a beautiful thing. I also feel that, there's an up leveling in commitment in love relationships. For those of you that are currently in love relationships, you may be talking about moving in together with all the people gathered. You may be talking about getting married. Some of you may open up the year, or you did over the holidays, received a proposal and you're like getting ready to plan your wedding. I also feel this is just a general collective desire to have more depth and more spiritual connection within romantic relationships, to want to feed this component. And I also sense that there is a lot of kind of for those that are single, for those that are wanting to connect with another, there's very much this kind of letting it go and trusting that when the timing's right, the right person will come to you. There's been sort of this relinquishing of control that allows, allows the magic to work in our lives. It allows spirit to weave its magic through our lives and bring the synchronicity that, guides us to that certain someone. And then when you least expect it, when you're not thinking of it, your eyes meet someone's across the room, and it all begins there, this new story. But you never find it when you're looking for it, right? So I feel like a lot of you are focused more on your spiritual growth. You're wanting to connect with the love within yourself. And even if you're in relationships, you're starting to focus a little bit on, loving yourself up, and you're recognizing how it makes you so much more of a strong, grounded partner in your relationship. And having this sense of personal time, personal attention, personal care, it's actually enhancing your relationship on all levels. So this is some really beautiful energy coming in. I just feel this big unity energy here, and that this is really like watched over by spirit. And be prepared, there's going to be some significant connections coming in. Soulmate energy, I'm telling you, this energy is going to start filtering in the more we head into the new year. So pay attention to the people that are guided to your path at this time, because they're either an important heart connection, or they're an important spiritual connection where you're really going to grow through the connection and learn something. It opens a new chapter in your life. Okay, and then in the area of sex, occult, death, and transformation, look at this. Done with being dissatisfied. No longer going to hang out for settling for less than you truly desire. There's some big changes coming in this area, all right? There's a huge turnaround from this energy of disappointment. We're moving out of this energy of disappointment. A lot of you will be refusing something. You'll receive an offer this week. You'll realize it ain't up to snuff. This ain't what I'm looking for. And it was 44, 33 on the clock when I said that. Okay. So this is, again, 4 is like emperor energy. 3 is empress energy. 44 on the clock when I said that. So a lot of you are looking for that. You want your counterpart. You want somebody who is strong, balanced within themselves. They've done the work. They've grown. They don't need somebody to complete them. They're complete in and of themselves. They just want to come together with somebody and share the experience, have a good time, grow, have some fun while they're at it, and and enjoy the legacy they're building and they're going to leave behind together. Because these kind of connections, when you meet somebody on that level, you build together, you create together. And I think that's what you wait for. You're not going to settle for any less. But I do feel like you're going to have somebody, or some of you are going to have some buddies stepping to you this week. And it's like half stepping. Don't, I just heard that song, Big Daddy Kane, no half stepping. It's like, I feel like y'all aren't going to be accepting, the same old song and dance. You're ready for something more, and you're going to be turning some people down this week. But it's sort of like the first of what will be many tests that are going to come in this year by you rising to this challenge, by you standing strong on your worth and what you want for yourself in your life, what you're calling in for yourself. The wheel turns, and this, has you rising up out of that fate of the Scorpio South Node and starting to make your ascent into the Taurus North Node, where you actually create a reality that's based on what you value at the end of the day, what has meaning for you, and that recognizes your worth, what you bring to the table. So this is very positive energy there. And then looking in the area of travel, expansion, and spirituality. All right, we do have a court card, the first court card to make a debut. Libra energy, really strong front and center. But we also have Aquarius and Gemini with this Queen of Swords here. We have strength with the Seven of Pentacles. So this really shows me that you have been doing the work with the Seven of Pentacles. This coming through very strongly for Air Sign Collective, any strong placement, okay? But I definitely also feel that this is kind of the energy holding everything down as we get prepared to move into Aquarius season at the end of January. That's really going to be a time of expansion. And I think for those of you who've really been doing this work, it's the Empress who tames the lion, does so ever so gently, no fighting, no competing, no stress, no drama, comes from a place of understanding that maybe some of the aggression, some of the fighting, some of the fallouts, it came from a place of wounding. And so there's this willingness to understand, to have the courage to hold the space, to respond instead of react, to listen and to be gentle. And it's through having this compassion that new understanding has been reached within oneself, but also this process is going to start happening with others. And this is going to create a lot of growth in this situation, okay? I also feel that one thing that is going to be required very much so is, speaking your truth, standing in your truth, and making sure that you are cutting off anything that does not serve. But I really feel what this is speaking to, with it coming up in the spirituality sector, is, wondering, when is there going to be the other side of all this work I have done? When am I going to get to experience the release from sort of this cycle of always having to, process the past and having to be put in this position of being in the hot seat, having to speak my truth, all this cutting of cords, cutting things off, letting things go. When do I get to, the reward, the growth, what's on the other side of all that intense spiritual work I've done? And with the strength card coming up here, it promises success. It promises success. You are guaranteed to see that what you invested in your spiritual growth and doing this work, it will pay off, and in ways you can't even begin to imagine right now. Okay, so expect there to be past influences coming forward again, coming back around the bend, Air Sign Collective, and it's really so you can experience growth through these interactions, these communications, these connections, and just remember that piece, to exercise compassion and exercise a desire to understand rather than needing to get your last word in. It's so important. at this time. All right. For PR, career, image, and brand, we have judgment. Okay. So I feel like some of you have made some decisions recently about how you want to shake things up, how you want to shift things with how you're presenting yourself in terms of your career, your business, what you're looking to grow. I think that the ideas you have are solid and you can bank on them. Definitely about you investing them. You can rest assured here, that you are going to see a lot of growth and a lot of um, progression, forward motion in terms of your image, your brand, your public relations, how people are perceiving you. I think people have a lot of trust in what you're doing. I think they feel that, you're standing on something really solid. And I think you've been very smart about the moves you've made. And this is really going to pay off for you in 2023. I feel like this is just like, rest assured, you can trust what you're wanting to grow right now. It's going to come into such beautiful fruition. And you're really going to see some very, very positive progress. Very positive progress. This is like judgment is such an excellent, card to come up here. It's like job well done. Keep at it. You know what to do. It all involves you being true to you, and really having the courage to put yourself out there in an authentic way, not play the games. Trust your own judgment too. That's what I'm getting. Forget about all these media spin doctors, all these master courses, all this stuff that tells you, how you need to, grow your vision. Only you know the best way to grow your vision. As long as you're really staying in alignment with your values, what's true for you, this promises to be immensely successful. And then we had right after that, in friends and community, we have the Fool. Okay. So, brand new cycle here with the Fool. A lot of you are wanting to, see what else is out there. Maybe you've outgrown your friend circle. Maybe you need new stimulation. Maybe you're just wanting to go to some different places, meet some new people, see how other people live. I see you expanding your community. Some of you are expanding your community through, traveling, getting out there in the world. Some of you are taking your work on the road, and this is introducing you to new people. Some of you are also exploring different places because you're considering a geographical cure. You kind of want to get away from the old energy where you've been stuck for a while now. You're ready to shake things up and experience something new. So I do see you really playing with this energy quite a bit. I also feel like there's something about, don't be foolish either. If you've been dealing with problems in your friend group, if there's been a friend that's kind of been causing you problems and they've done the same thing over and over again, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to walk away. I mean, you can have a peaceful closure, but if you're tired of going through the same cycle again and again, it's okay for you to walk away, go your own way, and begin a whole new cycle. Okay, so that needed to come through for somebody. I also feel like with all this kind of like things coming back around the bend energy, some of you are starting a brand new cycle in a friendship, or you're taking on a brand new role in your community, and this is opening up a whole new chapter for you. It's a very positive thing. Okay. And then finally, we have karma, hidden enemies, and evolution, the work that needs to be done this week. All right. We have the 9 of Wands. All right. So, two-part message here. First of all, trust your energy. Trust your energy read. Read the room. When you're dealing with people, if everything inside of you is feeling like this is off, or this isn't right for me, or I'm not liking the way this is going down, you don't even need to deal with it in that moment. You can just simply pull your energy back, extricate yourself from the situation and give yourself some space to lean into what's happening here. I feel like some people do need to be blocked. You need to be mindful of this. If you're dealing with anybody who is disrupting your peace and they've been a problem and you haven't had success working this out, and it was 55:22 on the clock when I said that, block their ass, okay? Don't entertain any more bullshit. Block them on social media, refuse their calls, and make sure that you are protecting your energy because you've been through a lot to be at this 9 of Wands and you're tired, boss. You need to pour your energy into yourself right now, okay? And it's okay to protect your space. But I would say, on the flip side of this, eventually you're going to have to transform this energy, all right? So be present with yourself and understand when you're acting out of a knee-jerk response. Like maybe you meet somebody new and you're scared. You're scared about letting this person in because of what you've been through before. That's not really fair. This person isn't, who you dealt with in the past. You got to give people a chance to show you who they are before you automatically block them out. So work on dissolving defensiveness, all right? And especially in communications, like we were talking about, work on dissolving the defensiveness. But in some cases where you've been dealing with nothing but fuckery, you do need to put your foot down and say no more, because it's time for you to take care of yourself. All right. That coming in very strong. I think I have time here to pull one super awesome future card, overarching theme for the collective this week as we move through this Tuesday through next Tuesday in the opening of 2023. Overarching theme for the collective this week. What is really holding it down for the collective this week? Woo! Okay. And it's a crossing influence, and we got the anchor. And it just really solidifies what I was talking about. Okay. So the anchor is all about feeling like you need to be the one that has to sprout multiple arms, to juggle everything, to take care of everything, to handle the latest crisis, and you do it all at the sacrifice of your own sense of grounding and well-being. All right, you might be putting on a happy face, like I just got that image of that meme with the dog. He's sitting in the room, it's on fire. It's like, this is fine. You might be presenting this image, but the reality is it's too much chaos. Okay. Some of you are dealing with somebody that the problem is you're trying to control them too much. You're trying to control the way they move, the decisions they make, and you're kind of blaming them for your life feeling like such a mess. If you just let the person go, then you don't have to deal with them anymore. All right. So if this is somebody who's a big hassle because you guys aren't on the same page, you're moving in two different ways and it's creating a lot of disruption in your life, like you're not going to change that person. They're going to do what they want to do, just like you're going to do what you want to do. So try letting go instead of controlling and trying to force a fit, make somebody into who you want them to be. You'd be surprised how much easier things will start to flow for you. And put down that anchor, stop trying to carry all the weight. Let somebody else come in and hold it down for a change. 58 on the clock. Ask for help where you need it, all right? And then you'll be able to get realigned with your direction there with that compass rose energy, okay? You'll be able to get realigned. You'll be able to, find your course. You may have veered off course a little bit, trying to clean up too many of other people's messes. It's time to extricate yourself from that and work with this Saturn energy to really ground everything out and give yourself a solid foundation to build your future on this year. I know you got it in you. I believe in you.